So what qualities do you think it takes to be a good CIO?
Well, a number, but first of all, I think you need to be very business focused. Technology experience and knowledge is important, but you've got to have drive, in my experience, quite a lot of tenacity, and delivery.
What's been your biggest challenge so far?
A recent one, in fact, since I joined the airport, been looking at making sure we've got the foundations in place for growth. So we're currently running a major outsource program to remediate, operational risk, but also make sure that we can focus on business change.
And what do you consider to be your biggest achievement?
Some consultancy work I did in an NHS Foundation Trust. They had outsourced their IT, and the services were not being delivered properly, and patient services were at risk. So I put in place a remediation plan and helped the trust and the outsource deliver improvements to that service.
And what's your next big goal professionally?
Next big goal professionally is to immediately kind of improve passenger experience and the passenger journey at the airport, and look at how we use technology to do that, and then to move into a more business focused role. Technology is at the heart of every business now, and there's no reason why I shouldn't become more of a business role where typically IT people have stayed in IT.
What was the most useful piece of careers advice you've ever received?
For me, it was to do as many of the IT roles, whether directly or managing functions, as I could possibly do. So I've, by background, very much infrastructure and service delivery. I've never really run any service development roles before, and equally governance. So I spent time in those areas to get a grasp of the overall IT state. And then also very good advice around learning the business. Got to learn the business and really get an intimate knowledge of how everything works, and then how you might be able to improve it.
And what sort of careers advice would you pass on to others?
Very similar. Try and get as much experience and varied knowledge as you can possibly get. Make use of partnerships with external providers. It's not always easy to have that expertise internally. And talk to your peers. There's so much knowledge and experience out there. Make use of it.
How do you think the role of a CIO is changing?
Very much more. It's always been needed to be business focused, but even more so now. It needs to be enabling. I don't think any CIO can survive if they're focused inwardly on infrastructure. Those things are a given. It's about how do you add value to the business, drive revenues, make people more efficient, and look at technology, future enablement.
What's the best route into the CIO role today?
I think, I think you can come from both a development and a delivery background. I think I've seen some very strong business analysis candidates and very good program managers. So I think it's much more open than it might have been previously. And I think the winners are the people that spend time in the business and have that knowledge.
Is a technical background necessary?
It's an advantage, but not necessary. I think if you can draw on the right expertise, whether internal or external, it's about what do you need to deliver, and I don't think you need the technical experience that previously was so important.